Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome to Team Live Life Off Leash. We have our meeting for October of 2025.
Yep.
How? I don't really know, but I'm sure I'll say that for the next rest of the year. So get used to that. Stop it. Stop.
Mhm.
And so we have a great training for you guys for tonight. We're going to be talking all about upselling and how to be getting extra sales in your business, but also to be able to help out your customers in the best way possible. But first things first, we really want to be talking to you guys tonight about what is going on for this month. And so we have where our dog walking challenge is going to be wrapping up. So today is day 6 of the dog walking challenge, and tomorrow will be the last day. So I do encourage you guys to make sure you are following up with your people. Make sure that they see how well did they do, did they have fun, all those types of things. And then we will be going through and tracking who walked, what's the points, all those kinds of fun things. And then we will be spoiling you guys per usual. So I just wanted to say that the dog walking challenge is wrapping up. One of the other things is this is the last month to register with Early Bird for Legacy. So if you are a director or above, and that is something that you want to go to, a reminder that Legacy is in January and it's going to be in New Mexico. This is the last day or the last month that you can register for Early Bird. And if it's your first time going, there's even a discounted price to help you guys get there. Also, in case you guys haven't heard, the holiday packs will be announced sometime this month. So make sure you keep your ears open, watch your email, keep an eye out for that. But also, it's not too early to be dripping a few things of asking people, hey, who buys stuff for their pets for the holidays? What is your favorite kind of toy to be getting your dog or your cat for the holidays? Do you have grandkitties that you are buying stuff for? So you can always be asking these just kind of inquisitive questions to kind of start building your list. So when we actually launch those holiday packs, you guys have a whole list of people that you could just be like, hey, I saw that we chatted before that you buy some stuff for your dog or cat. We have some really great product or really great kits. You want to take a look at them. So that is something that's going to be happening this month. And then, okay, boot camp. I'm going to toss it over to Krista because this is her bread and butter, her pride and joy, her just brainchild pretty much. And so I will give it to you to talk about boot camp.
Yeah, so boot camp, it's Grow 2.0 started today, so it is not too late to get in on the action. I think Joey has a link to the Facebook group page that she can add. There it is. So go ahead and join. It's only for 1 week, and it is, if you joined last time, this time it is a little bit easier. So we've kind of we've made it so it's just for those of you who might work a full-time job, it's going to be a lot easier because it's just 1 or 2 hours as opposed to the 3 to 5. So it's a lot easier to fit that into your day than 3 to 5 hours if you're already working an 8-hour day, right? So go ahead and Linda, maybe check your volume. We can hear on our end.
Mhm.
Um, anyway. So yeah, go ahead and go over to that Facebook group page and answer the questions and request to join and join the Grow 2.0 to help you in your business. This is going to be all kinds of stuff. Every day there's going to be like tasks for you to do, and all of it is with the intention to help you grow your business. So I hope to see you guys all over there.
Heck yeah. I've already been seeing a bunch of the posts popping up on for day one. I popped in there and took a look at everything. And anytime that we've done these boot camps, people see some sort of result, whether that's they've had more conversations, they've gotten a bit more consistent on their social media. Maybe they saw that two people liked their post versus zero. Like sometimes people even see sales. Maybe they've sponsored a pet pro. There's a lot of things that have come about on the different times that we've done these types of boot camps and things. So I encourage you guys to be jumping in there if you're looking for a way that if you're kind of like if you're newer or if you're just restarting and you're like, man, I'm not quite sure what I should be doing with my business or those types of things, boot camp is the absolute perfect way to jump in, start getting some of those tasks of what to do, start getting that consistency. And you're also in a fun group. Like there, we encourage you guys to be getting into the Grow 2.0 and sharing your experiences with things.
Yeah, and to add to that, we did make the tracker easier. So there's two options this time because I know last time some people were having trouble with the tracker. So there is still the digital, like spreadsheet Google tracker thing that you can fill out every day, or there is a printable version where you can just print it out and you can track it with, by pen and paper, and then take a screenshot at the end and share it, and we're going to be having some really great prizes at the end. So that tracker is like a really important key because that is how you win the prizes is by filling out the tracker. And I feel like there was something else I was going to add about it, but it slipped my mind. So if I think of it, I will put it in the chat. But yeah, jump on over there, guys. It's going to be so fun.
Awesome. Thank you, Krista. Super excited for that. All right. I always tend to jump over these things, but if you guys have any shout outs or anything that you guys want to shout out from September, if there's any wins that you had, I tend to just kind of jump into the training like, let's go. But I know celebrations are always good.
I want to do a shout out, and I want to shout out Deb, Linda, and Krista because they all made it to our Michigan meetup, and they're on the call tonight.
Hmm.
And we had a great time. Trisha was in town, so we threw together a little meetup for all pet pros in the area. But yeah, you guys made it, and I know Linda and Deb both had to travel quite a bit a distance and stuff. So we really appreciate it, and I'm super glad we got to that you got to come.
I know. We got to meet Deb in person, which is the first time. So very excited for that. We had a good time for the
Yeah.
Michigan meetup. I'm not sure when we'll do another one, but it was definitely a lot of fun and so great to like hug everybody in person and just talk and those types of things. I do want to give another shout out to Deb because she had a vendor event this weekend and she got a sale. Can we just give her a round of applause for Deb? So Deb, I think was this your second vendor event that you've done? Or was it your first one?
It was the first one this year.
Okay.
The
Good.
other one didn't happen because nobody was there. So
Okay. Okay. I knew you've only done like I knew it had only been either your first one or you had tried to do one before kind of thing. So way to go.
mm,
She talked to a lot of people. I mean, tell us a little bit on how it went for you.
oh, I'm off. I thought I had to unmute it. I ended up with 8 tickets filled out for a $10 gift card. And I had 6 of the sheets. People filled out the sheets for their pets on what issues their dogs or cats had. And my sale came at the very end. I was talking to someone and she was standing at the table for a second. And then when I got to her, she pointed at my uh, allergy support solution kit. She said, I want that. All
Yay. Well,
right,
awesome.
well, go ahead and take a shot of that QR code and then we set her up.
Perfect. Now this was like a trunk or treat, wasn't it? Kind of a thing.
Yeah, that type of thing. So
Okay.
that's what most of the people were there for. But hey, I got a sale. It's better than I've been doing, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah. And that's what I love too, is that it was something that like I wouldn't have thought necessarily to do, like a trunk or treat type of, or a trick or treating kind of a thing. So it is October, guys, when you're looking for vendor events. I mean, if they're, I definitely say give them a try, because you don't know what is going to be good for like your niche or the types of events that you do well at, because I know the types of events that Sarah does are different than the ones that I do, and Sarah does awesome. And I've tried different ones like that, and you just never know what's going to be a good fit for you. So trying out a couple of different types of things, I think is really good. I know for me, I love the ladies' nights out. Now they're kind of fewer and far between, but I've done really, really well at those types of events. And so I encourage you guys to just be having an open mind when you're starting out and wanting to do some vendor events, and just try some different things out. Awesome. All right, well, any other shout outs, pop those in the chat and we can go over there. Danielle says, I'm currently in 2 online ones right now, 2 online vendor events. Awesome. Anything you guys can be doing to be adding more people to your network. That was one of the reasons with this dog walking challenge. We really wanted you guys to be expanding your network and just kind of be getting used to having those conversations with people. So I had posted in one of the Facebook groups that I'm a part of, and I got a bunch of new friends that I was able to friend request, and now we're connected on Facebook. Now, I'm not going to go and bombard them with pottery things, but I just really wanted to be able to grow my network, find like-minded people that are dog moms, that are child-free, that I can really be relating to. And now they're in my space. I'm in their space. I get to see their dogs and what kind of things they might need in the future. And they're already liking and commenting on my stuff because we're friends. We're new friends, and so Facebook is showing that. So that was definitely one of the reasons we wanted to do the dog walking challenge. So I encourage you guys to make sure you're following up with any of your walkers and see how they did after tomorrow. All right, so next up, we're going to do our mindset minute. We have, because we are talking about upselling tonight, in the chat or as a raise of hands, when I say upselling, who kind of cringes? Who's like, ooh, that's like a gross thing? All right, Danielle. All right, anybody else? Like, I'm not, that's just like a no. Well, no worries. I totally get that. When we go to different places, like we are salespeople. We are salespeople. And when we're talking with people, we want to make sure that we have the right mindset going into it. So when we are talking about upselling or recommending products that are really good for that customer, I know it can feel pretty uncomfortable, but we want to, because we don't want to come off pushy and we don't want to come off salesy. But what I want you guys to be thinking about is what you're offering them. Like, you believe in what we offer. You have that passion behind it. So I want you to kind of be thinking of it in this way, that you're offering add-ons, or an upgrade or something that's going to be good for your customer. And I know Sarah's going to be going into more of this like in depth, but I want you to just kind of be reframing that in your mind. If that's something that you're like, ugh, I don't want to be offering other things, or the upsell, kind of the icky word, but changing your mindset around that of being like, I am just offering people options and they get to choose what option they go with. So it could be the whole kit and caboodle. You can throw the whole kitchen sink at the allergies if that's what the person wants to do. But if that's not the case, that's okay. If they only want to get the allergy support plus and the salmon oil, that's great. Where the pushiness comes in is kind of like, well, are you sure? Because I think this is going to be better for you. That's kind of where that pushiness comes in. But if you're just offering all of these different options to people, that just kind of think, like, reframe it in your mind that upselling is just offering people options and then they get to choose whatever that is. So when we are talking about it tonight, get into the right mindset, be open with it, and just know that the confidence that you have going into that is going to play a part in it. So mindset really does have a big play in how you do the upselling and those types of things. So, Sarah, before we jump in, I did want to bring in Megan, who was a total rock star last month. She had, what'd you have, like five vendor events last month?
Let's see. I had two doubles, so Saturday, Sunday, and then I had two Saturdays in there. So, and then prepping for next event, obviously on those Sundays. John and I were very, very busy, and we had to plan our grocery shopping and everything accordingly, and get my fur babies' aunties to make sure they can come over and let them out, so we could go to
Yes.
these vendor events.
Well, I love that. So many vendor events. You clearly, your sales, you were a total rock star last month. And so I wanted to shout you out for sure. But also, we would love to hear from you on your experience with the vendor events and how did they go? And then also with any sort of upselling, was there any way that you, like any tips or tricks that you have for that?
Yeah. So I don't know if any of you, I know some of you have seen it in our like big team chat. I've posted some videos of like my vendor setup and the attention grabbing things that I put out there without being too pushy, without sounding too scientific. Like I do have a photo right at the front that has two different dogs with the plat control before and after. And it says like results don't lie. And usually that catches people as they walk by, and it's either the ooh or oh, this is a thing. And then that starts a conversation. And then we also have like one of those like pull-up banners that I made myself, that's like, does your pet have any problems with these things? And it's a dog that's scratching, it's a cat in front of a food bowl for like sensitive stomach, there's a dog with a blanket over its face for anxiety, joint support, and that catches people's attention as well. So I tried to go with those and not be the person outside of my booth, hey, come see me. Like I like them to look at those visuals, and then that's what draws them in. Um, I will say that having my background in veterinary medicine definitely helps, because I'm able to approach a person with a different type of understanding than some. Not saying it's bad, not saying it's good. It's I've seen behind the curtain. So I can talk to people about the vet appointments that they've had with their animals, and the steroid injections they've had to get for allergies, and the Apoquil they've had to get for allergies, and how expensive that is and frustrating because sometimes it doesn't even work and you've spent $300. And so I try to say, hey, I've been there. I've done it. Like, I totally understand. Here's a product I think is going to work for you. And then, we talk about the Allergy Support Plus, and we talk about the salmon oil because I have an older guy, a senior, that has seasonal and I don't even know what else allergies. So he's always my go-to. And then having my husband as a backup for me at events is great, because everyone usually listens to the woman, right? And the husband's just like, oh, he doesn't know anything. He's just sitting in the background, like he's just there to take down the tent. But John has taken upon himself to learn more about our products and to be able to talk to people and have conversations, which is a twofer for him because he's been suffering with severe anxiety. So, me getting him out and doing these events and getting him to talk to people and being comfortable has really boosted that confidence for him as well. So, his two favorite products to talk about is Plaque Control and Chillax. So, he's got that whole spiel down. So, having him as my backup to be there to talk about certain things and things that we use at our house is great, especially in regards to upselling. Um, Events that I did. So the first one that I did of the month, it was a double weekender. It was called Mum Fest. And I've never been there before. It's in a small town close to us, but this farm, they started by selling mums for their neighbor's daughter who was having a wedding. And the farm has just grown into this family friendly park. Like the jumping pillow for the kids to do. There's a lavender maze. There's a sunflower field. Pick your own bouquet. Like there's so much stuff on this property. But then they had, 60 some, I think, vendors, and they all varied. There were, I think, three other pet treat vendors. So, I had to kind of put myself out of that. I had to stand out at some point in time. But that first day, there were 40,000 people who came to the farm. 40,000. And I had never been in an environment like that. Like I've been in, other things with other jobs where there's lots of people, but we were like at the end of a row. And so we had two sides of our booth open. So we had people coming at us from three different directions. So John and I had to really like get our game down of how we were going to talk to people, but just having those eye-catching things like I talked about, that's what really drew people in. Because otherwise, I mean, I had like women going and grabbing their husband to show them the dental photo, like we need to get this, and it was so helpful. But day one, we did quite a bit of sales. Day two, it was slower. I mean, it was a Sunday, second day of the event. We made, I think, one or if not two sales on that day. So, yeah, is that being my first experience with MumFest? Holy moly. And now I've been put on a list to join next year as well. So that was great. And it was sort of a last minute fluke thing. She had a vendor drop out and asked me if I wanted to join. So I was super excited for that. Um, oh gosh, what else did I do? The other big one we did, which was not this past weekend, the fourth, but the previous weekend, is Apple and Pork Festival in the same little town. 58,000 people day one, over 200 vendors. I was grateful enough to be under their new cattle barn for their 4-H cattle shows. So I at least didn't have to bring my tent and we could put up fans and things like that. We met so many people. Now, the downside is as people like walk through this cattle barn, they have to walk in at one end, to get to the other. And excuse my French, but really it was like nuts to butts, if you've ever heard that expression of like people in a line walking down. Like it was cattle to the slaughter. And I'm like, holy crap, what are we doing here? But at the end, where people started coming in, there was a pet treat booth. So then when people got to me, they were like, oh, it's just other pet treats. And so my husband and I were like trying to think of fun little taglines and that to bring people in. Like, we're not just pet treats. Like, do you see this? Do you see how much we can help you with? Like, and then that people would start laughing and then they would end up coming back and talking to us. I will say I was disappointed in that event because I didn't make any sales on the spot. That's mostly because the internet shut down. They had a company that was coming out to put in fiber optics for internet, but because there was so many people on their phones, we did not have service. And even with the hotspots and everything else. So that was extremely frustrating. But we had very good communication with a lot of people who like they seriously wanted help with their pets and they were tired of spending all the money at the vet office. And I anticipate there's going to be sales coming in from that just because that day was so crazy. So I'm letting it buffer for a little bit and then I'll reach out to people. But those were our biggest in regards to people. We had to take all of last week off to depeopleize ourselves for a staycation because that's just how we roll. But in regards to upselling, there was so many conversations I had with people that they were just curious. Like I had one lady who came up and she goes, look, I keep trying to tell my husband to do something, but he won't do it. We have an older cat. And I said, okay, how old? Well, she's 14. Okay, understood. Keep going. Well, she keeps having urine accidents upstairs on the carpet. And I said, okay. I said, Do you have any other cats in the house? She goes, well, we did, but she passed away recently. I said, okay. And I said, well, okay, has she been checked for, a UTI, anything like that? She's like, yeah, it came back negative. And I said, all right, is this spot where she's peeing a spot where the previous cat would pee? And she goes, yeah, pretty close to it. I said, okay. So now we're looking at either behavioral or discomfort because the litter box is down in the dirty basement where she has to go down a huge flight of stairs to get to the litter box. And the husband's been locking her in the basement so she doesn't have any more accidents. So I said, has anyone ever told you the rule of thumb with litter boxes? And she goes, well, I mean, not really. And I said, you're supposed to have one extra litter box per the number of cats you have. So if you have two cats, you need three litter boxes. She goes, oh, that makes sense. And I said, so is she your only cat that you have right now? She said, yes. I said, okay, tell your husband, and I jokingly said this because we had built a rapport, tell your husband he's an idiot and that he's causing your cat pain and he needs to give up his lazy boy. And in midst of that, put a litter box upstairs on the first floor where the urine, not necessarily exactly where the urine accidents are happening, but somewhere adjacent. I said, I think she's probably got arthritis or something going on. It's uncomfortable for her to go take the stairs down to the basement. Like, I get it. You've replaced the carpet, you've replaced the pad. Like, let's just get another litter box and see if that happens. She was so thrilled with our conversation. She went and got three of her family members and brought them back to my booth. And I sold chillax, plaque control, and I think allergy support plus to them just because of that conversation that her and I had. I wasn't pushy. She came to me for advice. I said, hey, I'm not a veterinarian, but in my experience, this is probably what we're looking at. And she didn't want to go on, a big expenditure because the cat's so old. Like, she didn't want to spend all the money on the big food and all of that. And I said, let's just try this first. Let's try it. If we need to, look at something else, I'm happy to do that for you. But let's try this and see where it gets you. She ended up emailing me. She took my business card. She emailed me. She goes, my husband's a loser. I won the argument. And I said, there you go.
I love that. I love too because it's kind of like a backhanded upsell basically where
Mhm.
you were just giving her the good honest advice that any pet owner, okay, well, like, let's try these types of things even though it wasn't a supplement, it wasn't these things, like,
Mhm.
okay, let's just educate them. And then you actually got three other upsells because of that. So
Yes.
I love that you kind of took that approach. And so, Danielle, I know for like the upsell word, like that could be a little bit of like if just going into it with the customer in mind, having that heart, that can
Mhm.
eventually lead to into, hey, maybe they're gonna give you a referral because you were having that customer in mind first.
Yeah, and that's like, I mean, I'm pretty good at reading people and knowing like, okay, this person's super interested, they're probably going to spend some money versus the people that are more apprehensive, right? So I read the body language, I read all of that before kind of digging into further conversations. And, I'll tell them, like, hey, I worked in the vet field for, 10 plus years. Like, I get it. I didn't go to vet school, but I've seen a lot, I've heard a lot. I know people who've gone through it. I have contacts that I can reach out to. And usually when they hear that, it's like, boom, like, okay, I can trust you. I can trust that you're not going, you're not some cheesy car salesman. Like, you're going to actually help me with what I need and not push me. So that's been great. But I do have to give a shout out to my husband. He's downstairs. He didn't want to be a part of the video, but he has taken it upon himself to create a TikTok page for our pottery. And he said, I just want to try it first myself with a few videos and see if we get some views and, go from there. Both of us aren't social media people. I mean, obviously, I'm posting things on my social media about events and, cute photos and things like that. But having him kind of go the extra mile, especially with his anxiety to do something like that, and he's showing me the videos, and of course he's goofed up in them. Like, it's totally fine. It just shows the realistic. Like, I think our golden doodle, whose name is JJ, jumped into the video and he was like, "Oh, this is JJ. We named her from Supernatural." And then it like came up Criminal Minds, dot, dot, dot. Like, I really meant Criminal Minds and not Supernatural. And I was like, it's
Both are
fine.
great
This is
TV
what
shows,
people
by the way.
like.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Well, we have Spencer from Criminal Minds. He's our old guy. Then JJ, our golden doodle. Then we
Aw.
have Evelyn. She's named from the Mummy. She's our older tortoiseshell. And then we have two kittens, Violet and Rhiannon, named after characters in the Empyrean Fourth Wing series thing. So we get a chuckle when people are like, "What are your pets' names?" And, "Oh, let me see a photo of your pet. How'd they get their name?" So it's always interesting. But
Yeah.
event wise, it's good to be able to relate to people in one way or another. We've all taken those vet bills. We all get it.
Yeah.
We all have had the pet that passed away, and there's another pet maybe in the household that's dealing with, where do I fit in the family? Maybe having urine accidents, not eating as much, things like that. Just keep in your mind that those things, they might not be ready to purchase right away, but having those conversations builds that rapport with them. And because I was able to do that with so many people, they're business owners in other cities. And they're like, "Hey, my friend is having a vendor event and I gave her your information. So if she reaches out to you about wanting to be a vendor, I just wanted to let you know that's how she got your information." I'm like, "Hey, people are coming to me now. This is nice. I'm not
Right.
searching through Facebook every day trying to find events to go to." But sorry for taking up too much time. I apologize.
No, no, this is so perfect. I absolutely love that. And if your husband needs any help, he can for sure reach out to Alex. He's very much the same way. He likes to
Yeah.
be goofy and those types of things. So
Yeah.
you've been on TikTok for
A few years now.
so
I
he
joked with the last video he made. Well, not the last. The first video he made, he didn't use my stand. He just sat the phone down, so he's like looking down at the phone. So it's like he's looking down a hole the entire time on the video. I'm like,
It's all
next
right.
time,
It's a
let's get
learning
my
process.
tripod out. Like, I'll show you where it's at. It'll be good.
Yeah, it's a learning process for sure. We all
Mhm.
suck till we get better, that's for sure. I mean, my first TikTok was not great. My first live that I ever did, not great. But, it's all good. We got to start somewhere.
Well, and I see your videos that you put on Facebook all the time, and Caitlin, all the videos that she does, and Instagram and TikTok, and I'm like, "Oh, that's a lot." But it's really not that much. But I
It's
enjoy
been
watching those.
progression of getting to where we are now. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome, Megan. Well, thank you so much for that. We really, really appreciate you coming on here and sharing just your experience with everything.
Yep. Now I think next up we're gonna have, well, it's gonna be Sarah and myself chiming in a little bit about upselling and getting into tonight's training. I think it was great to hear from Megan and the success she's having. But Sarah, you ready to take it away?
Yes. So first, I just want to say, Megan, get your husband to Paw Fest. That's like so important. Linda brought her husband this year. My husband came in 2022 just to like help out. He didn't necessarily come to the conference. He wasn't really about that. So even if your husband has anxiety, is pretty much an introvert. Alex is also an introvert. My husband's an introvert. Just get him to Paw Fest, whether it's like in the room, with you or helping out on the sidelines. It'll probably change your business.
Alex, he won't go on a plane. Will you pick him up on your way down from Michigan, and you guys can drive to Texas?
All right, Krista, load up the RV.
Yeah.
I didn't fly for 21 years. I hate flying. Hate it with a passion. I didn't fly for 21 years. I went to PawFest last year. I really wanted to go again this year, and I will tell you, I will get on a plane every time for PawFest. So
I
we
don't want
just
to
gotta
waste
do
no
it right.
time. I want to get there and have a good time, and I don't want to waste my time driving. That's how I
I
feel about it.
don't blame you.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I just had to say that because if her husband's gonna be involved, man, we're getting all the pet bros.
Mhm.
Okay, so a little bit of mindset. Joey had talked about at the beginning, maybe how when you think of upselling, you kind of get the ick because like if you're working for like some big corporate company, and I'm just going to use Subway because I worked for Subway for years, I managed, I still work per diem for them. I'm not shitting on them. However, we've always been told, when sales are down, upsell, upsell, upsell. And you're like, if nobody wants the damn chips, I'm not going to ask them if they want the damn chips. Okay, like straight up. So I personally don't upsell because I feel like it doesn't benefit anybody but the owner, which I love him. He's great, but like I really don't care.
They probably
So
don't need the extra calories anyway.
yeah, like, ew, like you're already getting a foot long. Where are you putting that? Okay, anyway, I'm not here to judge. I eat a foot long, so I'm not here to judge. Um, so, you think like, oh, like they just want to make more money. You're just selling things that people don't need, right? Like nobody needs that bag of Doritos. Well, we can all live without Red 40 in our diets. And it's being salesy, right? Because they're like, oh, I don't really need anything. And then it's like, well, are you sure? Do you want a drink instead? Like, shut up, okay? No one wants to hear that. So that's why when a lot of people hear upsell, they get that ick. And I have experienced it in the past as a customer. I have been that person that's had to do it because, the manager was standing right there and I had to just, do you want to make that a meal today? Okay. Um, so here are some positive things, okay? And I really want you guys to listen to this because this is where your mindset can shift, okay? So give people all of the options so that way they can make a decision, okay? We're selling quality pet food, quality pet products to people who are looking for real solutions, who are sick and tired of wasting their money on stuff that doesn't work, right? So if you have that confidence, to be like, well, this is the best thing out there. This is what worked for my dog. This is why I sell it, right? I'm not going to sell something I don't believe in. That's just me. I don't. So give people all the options. Showing people that they can get the best bang for their buck. So when you're talking about the coupon, when you're talking about free shipping, when you're talking about, putting things on auto ship, um, the convenience of auto ship, things like that. And then you can do all of this without being salesy. So if I say, hey, you know what? You have a large dog, so you're going to need 2 bottles of joint support, right? Because we want to give this time to work. Um, if the person says, yeah, you know what? Let's go with that. Great. If they say, I can't really afford 2 bottles right now, or containers, can I just do one container? Absolutely. Like, I'm not here to be like, well, you really should. That's when you get salesy. That's when you look like a douchebag. Don't do that, okay? If somebody's like, I only want this or I can only afford this. Okay, great. Let's get this order in for you. Go along with what they need right in that moment. So why upsell? So the benefits for customers is they can take advantage of that 20% off. I will tell you, I was up north and I had a lady reach out to me and I was like, yeah, sure, like, we can talk tomorrow. And my mom was like, bless my mother. She's like, why don't you go to her house? And I was like, what? People still do that? Um, but I did. I actually reached back out to her and I was like, hey, Marianne, I was like, actually, are you around tomorrow? I'm up north visiting and I would be more than happy um, to go visit you if you want that. And she's like, yeah, I would love for you to meet the dogs. Perfect. That was $157 in new PV after the 20% off. That was 3 bags of dog food, freeze-dried raw bag. She ordered chillax and she ordered bone broth or pop herrings. Just like that. She took advantage of the 20% off. I told her about the money back guarantee, and we really went through both dogs. What are their issues? What is she hoping to get out of it? And she fed me really good banana muffin and a ginger ale. So I was really happy. Um, like, cool. I'll sell you dog food all day long. Feed me. I'm a big foodie if you guys don't know. So taking advantage of that 20% off, the money back guarantee, and then free or discounted shipping. This is where the auto ship comes in. So obviously 3 items besides food gets free shipping. If they only want those 2 containers of joint support, they get the discounted shipping. So the cool thing is that you could upsell that and just be like, hey, well, do you want a bag of treats? It's $16 for a bag of treats and it's going to cost you $8 in shipping. So why don't you get free shipping and for an extra $8 you get something out of it? And then again, let them make that decision. If they're like, oh, actually, yeah, let's do that, which I've had so many people do. I just ask, guys. It's okay. You can just ask. Well, if you just do this, you could get this. And then I've had people that are like, no, I'm all set. Okay. Um, the benefits for you are your first order bonus for new PV, your paw trip points for orders over $100. So, let's say you have somebody who's going to order, I don't know what, but it's $100 and then you go use the 20% off coupon. Now you only have like $80 in new PV, right? Or like $85. So if you want, you could say, hey, in order, to get free shipping if they don't have that third item, or, would you really like to take advantage of this 20% off and get more things? Did you want to try our treats? Did you want to try a different supplement? Are you looking at adding, making it exciting for mealtime and adding paw pairings? Um, and then by doing the upsell, you are providing the customer service. You're letting the customer make the decision, but you are the one who's providing the exceptional customer service that we love to give. If you are like me, you come from a place of service. I like to go and serve people. I don't work at Subway just because I like getting yelled at sometimes. Okay, I work at Subway because people come in, they're hungry, and I want to serve them. Um, so things to think about when upselling. Do they have a big dog? Because um, if they have an 11-pound Chihuahua, you're probably not going to sell them 3 bottles of Plaque Control. However, if they have a Great Dane, you're probably going to sell the 3 Plaque Controls and then maybe double that, because what do they need? Like 8 for like a dog that's like really big. So you're going to want to give them the best bang for their buck for the 20% off, and you're going to want to sell 6 bottles of Plaque Control. Okay? If anybody needs me in a three-way chat, I'm your girl. Um, so do they have a big dog? If they're getting the 2 items, tell them how they can get free shipping by adding another item, even if it's a cheap item like treats. Not everybody can afford 3 big containers of allergy support. Like, that's just reality. Um, and then ask, are there multiple issues that they're wanting to combat? If they come in and they're like, well, geez, my dog has allergies. Okay, here's the allergy support. Is there another issue that your dog has? Oh, well, actually, she's got anxiety. Okay, here's the chillax. Is there another issue? Well, her joints are starting to get bad. Okay, here's the joint support. Now I'm talking about my own experience because my corgi had every freaking problem under the sun, and she was on the whole kit and caboodle for pottery. I spent a ton of money every month on this dog. Probably my order was about 200 every single month for a 25-pound dog. She was on everything. But she needed them. So as I'm talking to people and they're like, well, my dog has this issue, my dog has this issue. Great. I know the story. Like, I know what that's like. And then another thing to think about when you're upselling is just ask. I know that it's really easy to overthink things, especially, if you're not confident or you're a little bit nervous. Maybe you don't do in-person events a lot. Maybe you're not having conversations often, and that can really hinder you because like I have started and stopped my business several times in the last 5 years. And I will tell you right now that after I really got back into it, when my son turned a year old, I was really struggling. And I'm like, I don't know how to talk to people. Okay, really, Sarah, you don't know how to talk to people. You've been selling stuff, you've been building a team, you've been a leader for how long? Like, I know how to sell stuff, but I got in my own head and I lacked the recent experience, right? Like I took a whole year basically off from like actively working my business. So that hindered me in that way. So try not to overthink things, especially if you've sold in the past. If you've done it in the past, you already proved to yourself that you can do it. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, what are things that we can say to our prospects? Um, we want to give this time to work. So let's add another container or bag. So if you have, a 50-pound dog, they might just be like, well, I'm just going to get a bag of dog food. Why don't you get 2 bags? Because it's give them a couple months worth of supply so that way they can really start to see the difference. They might not see a difference in a week, 2 weeks, a month. It might take 2 months. So like give them the option to really take advantage of our 90-day money back guarantee. Your dog is bigger, so let's add X to your order since we're going to need it. So really upselling, if you have a large dog, let's just add that extra joint support because you're going to go through it. And then using the coupon code, I can only use this coupon code once, so let's really take advantage of it. Another way to upsell, guys, is if you have a dog who's 25 pounds, so my corgi was 25 pounds, I always bought the large of everything because I would have spent more money giving her a couple of the small chews every day than just giving her one large chew once a day. Um, so that's basically all I had. If anybody has questions, feel free to ask.
No, Sarah, I thought that was great. Well, a couple of things that I just want to add. When all of us are listening, I mean, when we're listening to Megan talk, Sarah talk, I hope you all could hear the belief and really, yes, confidence, but belief that they were portraying when talking about upselling or working with people and in our products. Because I think that that is like the biggest component. Like, if you really have a strong belief in what you are selling, what you're talking about, that like all sales really is ultimately is one, it is a service, like you are helping people, and then it is a transfer of belief. So if you believe, hey, the plaque control is going to help their dog's teeth, and you strongly believe that, that's going to get transferred to the person that you're talking to, and they're going to be like, okay, this really can help my dog. If they're just kind of looking at it and you're like, yeah, this is this plaque control and it helps with your dog's teeth, and you're nonchalant about it, they're going to be like, oh, okay, and then kind of move on. But like, if you're passionate and have a strong belief, and being, then that is going to give you the confidence to uh, just help people even more, and then getting into the upselling and things like that. So, really, I mean, and one of the things that we're talking on our leader call today with too is sometimes it's things like, hey, they have, let's just say, two bags of treats in their cart, and they throw it on an easy ship. Well, they're going to be paying so much in shipping. An easy upsell and like really justifiable is, hey, why don't you add a third bag in there, and now you're going to avoid paying shipping at all. So, like, I mean, sometimes it's really simple things. It's no brainer stuff like that. And even in my regular 9 to 5, like I sell boats. One of the things I brought up in our call this morning was sometimes people are in between, like, oh, I want this little bit cheaper motor, but as soon as I break down, is like, hey, like if you just go to the next size up, it's $1,200, and it's the cheapest horsepower you're going to be able to buy. Period. Like, almost everybody is immediately like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." And believe me, my commission on $1,200 is not the same as commission on $1,200 worth of pottery sales. I wish it was, but it is not. uh, but yeah, just, I mean, really, like if you're coming from a place of like service and trying to help people, like that is going to give you the confidence, the belief, and the passion to not only just sell product, but even sell more product and help people.
Yeah, awesome. So, how are you guys feeling a little bit better on upselling when you're talking to your customers? Not as much of the ick factor, knowing that you are giving them the right tools, the right options, and being in that way they can just make the right decision. So, I hope that kind of shifts your mindset a little bit on that. I hope you guys got some tips and tricks on how to be, talking to people and just offering different solutions to them. Next up, I do want to say, first, welcome Angel to the team call. This is actually her first team call. I was going through everybody's faces and I was like, wait a second, I haven't seen this name before. So she said this is her first team call. So if we can give her a round of applause. And welcome, welcome, welcome. We're happy to have you here. Now, Angel, I will say we have two Angelicas on the team. So will you let me know what your last name is? Because I definitely want to make sure I'm reaching out to you and being able to help you. So she says that she's a little bit nervous because she hasn't had luck with customers yet, but she's not giving up. and she wants to be more active between her full-time school. Oh my goodness, going to school and doing and building your own business. That is a lot. So good kudos to you. We're very excited to have you here. So you do want to make I do want to just reach out and make sure that I have that we can chit chat and help you with everything. So I do know, okay, Withers.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. Because I'm like, yeah, we got two Angelicas on the team, and I don't know which one it is. So I'll definitely make sure I reach out to you. I'll text you and we can make sure that we are getting you up and rolling and get you rocking and rolling. So I do know Linda had some questions about QR codes and things like that, and Megan definitely popped in there and gave her 2 cents on that. I know for me, for when I do vendor events, I have the QR code for the product right on top of the lid. So if it's plaque control, I have a QR code that goes to plaque control. If it's allergy support, I have it go to the allergy support. Or I might search on the website for allergies, and then that way all of the allergy stuff kind of comes up. So there's a couple of different ways you can do that. You might just want to have a QR code on a sign that says scan me to learn more about pottery. I did that one at the vendor event, and that actually went to what did that go to? Oh, it was like a little form for them to fill out so I could get their information. So we had some people that scanned that, but if I was talking with someone and they were interested in plaque control, I could just grab the container and say, oh, we'll just scan this QR code. Because I would have people be like, oh, it's pod tree, I'll just look it up. And I'll be like, no, you can just scan this. It'll go right to the product that you're looking for. So there's different ways that you could to do that. So does any of the ways that you've heard so far, Linda, seem helpful for you? Of something that you'd want to try next?
Yeah. Hey, Joey. I have an event tomorrow, so
Oh,
that's why
okay.
I'm picking your brain. Um, but yeah, I love the idea of putting the QR codes on the products. So I think that's going to help a lot. And then I'll just have one that'll go to the quiz and one that'll go basically to the landing page to make an order, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I think something simple and easy like that is really good, especially for your event tomorrow. It's on a Tuesday? All right. I'm trying to find some during the week because I don't, so many of my Saturdays are booked with pet sitting.
Well, we're having a national night out for our city, so that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I will. What I'll do is I'll send you, I just have like something simple on Canva that I have already designed up. You just have to put your own QR code in there, so I can send you that one. It just says like scan me to learn more, and then with the QR code, and then to learn more about pottery on the bottom.
Thank you.
I will send you two. I just had one. Now, granted, this was for a veterinary conference, so the wording is a little bit more scientific-y, but it's still fine enough for like regular people. But it was about allergies, and so it just has a title of "Are you looking for an all-natural option to Apoquil and Cytopoint?" And the amount of people that stopped and was like, "Yes." I have lots of people that want a different option to that. And so then I had just like and like Megan said, like having some of the bundles is a really great, like having those out on display so you can say like this bundle right here is the thing that can help your dog with allergies, or having like the essentials kit, which is the freeze dried raw with the 10-in-1 and the plaque control, and having that bundled together is a really great way to be able to quote unquote upsell without actually selling, because you're selling the bundle and you're not being like, oh, well, the if you want to be a proactive pet parent, then you can get the freeze dried raw. But if you really want to be better, then you could do 10-in-1. And if you really want to be all in, you get the plaque control. Like it's just one bundle. You say this kit right here, if your pet's great and you want to keep them healthy, this is the kit that you want to go with. It's just 115 bucks and you can bam right away. And because I will say one of the things that we were talking about earlier today on some of my meetings is when you're talking with people, simplifying it down, making it very simple. So could you go in and say, oh, well, I can save you 10% and then get you free shipping and I can do this and I can do that. Like they don't need to know all of the math behind it. You can just be saying like the simple things of, and we can save you 20% today. And then as you're going through it, be like, oh, do you want to put this on easy ship? I can get you free shipping. So you can just be popping those things in there while you're throughout the conversation without like listing everything. So we don't want to overcomplicate because once it gets complicated, people go, nope, I'm done. I know for me, if people start throwing numbers at me, I'm like checked out. Like even at Paw Fest, they're going over the numbers for Paw Trip, and I'm like, I hope you're listening because they lost me. I am done. I am checked out. It is too they're doing numbers. It's complicated.
Yeah, next Paw Fest, when they start doing numbers, just look at Joey's eyes. There is a glaze that goes over them, like, and it is a visible like.
Yep. Yeah, or if we've just different appointments and things. If I had to go buy a new car, oh goodness, like nope, he's got to go with me because all the numbers and all the things like that's just not where my mind works. So the more you can make things simple, not complicated, and those types of things, it's going to. Yeah, Krista doesn't do numbers either. Yep, just make it simple for them. I say, if you place an order here, I can get you a great discount code to help save you some money. Yes, that is awesome. And this is something I was actually talking to Deb about earlier today because so she had the I love the allergy solution set, but as soon as you use the 20% off coupon, it drops it below 100. Like just barely, just enough to be like, so yeah, $2 underneath. It's just like, ah. So one of the things I like to do when I'm talking with people is just, okay, well, the allergy solution set is really what I recommend that's going to help your dog with their allergies. It's going to be really great. Is that something you want to try today? Yes, that would be awesome. So we're going through the checkout. You don't have to give them the 20% off. If they're already in and they're good with whatever the price is, you don't have to do the 20% off. You can use that if somebody's like, oh, that's $116. I don't know. It seems kind of steep. Be like, well, hey, actually, I have a 20% off coupon code. We can add that in and it'll get you down to 98. And that, or if you can say, well, hey, or if you have somebody that's like, it's at $99, you can say, well, hey, let's just throw you in a bag of treats. And that way it gets it up and over. And then you can say, that way we can save you 20%. So those are just some ways that you can be talking with people. Now, obviously, don't feel like you have to memorize and learn all of these things. These are all just kind of techniques and well, will be
Especially if you're just starting out, like
yeah.
just work on getting comfortable and get a couple of sales. We don't have to get all nitty gritty. Joey and I've been doing this for a long time, so
9 years with Podtree on Saturday.
yeah.
9 years, guys. 9. How? How has it been 9 years since I like clicked the button? I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So, all right. Any other questions that you guys have? We need a numbers cheat sheet. Megan says, I like to sell little sample pouches of treats so people can purchase the full bag online if they choose. Oh, that's great. Do you just like get them from Amazon and just kind of put the treats in there?
Yeah, I like little baggies. So the ones that I've been doing, because I got a bunch of the 10 in 1, so I had a bunch of the freeze dried chicken mango kale. So I've been putting like 3 of the little medallions in a little baggie, but then I've also been purchasing the bake at home treats, the snickerdoodle and the peanut butter and jelly. And so I'll make a double batch of both of those. And then I just bought fancy new green holographic bags that have a good zipper seal on them. And I have cute cookie cutters that I do little paw prints on. One has a heart and one doesn't. And I put two in a bag and I sell that. And I'm like, hey, if your pet likes these, you can actually purchase these on our website and bake them at home with your kids, your grandkids. Like, even if it's just your dog, like put them in a little apron, put a hat on them. It'll be cute. Put it on your Christmas card. And that's usually like, oh, well, they really like that because I've had people that I met like at the Mum Fest at the beginning of the month, and then I saw them again at the Apple and Pork at the end of the month. And they said, oh my God, my pet loved those treats. And I was like, well, you can get those on the website, right? This is the name of them. And so they're like, oh, yeah, that's great. Plus, it helps a
Perfect.
little cash flow. I like a little cash flow.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's actually, I know Amy Johnson, she's on a different team, but she has where you have to be selling something that's like homemade. What she'll do is she'll make those treats, the dog treats, to be able to sell them, but then also still have some pottery, or she'll like park her car, have a banner up or something. So she's still exposing people to pottery and she can still talk to them about it, but she's selling the treats. And so that kind of can get her in. So awesome, guys. All right. So I totally forgot. And so thank you, Sarah, for, we still need to do bingo. So real quick, right before we go, Sarah, you can share your screen. I might have to make you co-host. Hang on. And then we are going to, make host. There we go. And then, yeah, take it away for bingo winners.
Okay, hopefully I can do this. Do you see my screen?
It's still pulling up. There you go.
Okay, we got it?
Yep.
Okay, so I put everybody who participated in the bingo and like got a bingo, however many times you got a bingo in the wheel, and then I shuffled it so nobody's name is two together or anything. So this is super random. So I'm literally going to click to spin and then we're gonna pick a winner. Here we go. I'm so excited for this. I can't wait. Pam, congratulations. Okay, so Pam, I believe, had 4 bingos, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. And so I'm super proud of her and all the hard work that she did to get all of her bingos. I could tell that, she was really working her business. She was putting forth that effort. And so I really wanted to say congratulations to Pam and thank you for everybody who at least attempted or participated in the bingo.
Yay. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much, everyone.
One quick thing.
Yes.
What did everybody think about the bingo? Just you can do a thumbs up or a comment in the chat that was able to participate, because I think we're gonna do it again next month.
Mm-hmm. So Danielle got some thumbs up there. Loved bingo. Awesome. Any?
Pam loved it.
Yeah. Loved it. It really motivated me. Okay, good. Because that's really what we wanted. I know for me that there was things that I was like, oh yeah, I definitely need to make sure that I'm making a business post or a product post, or kind of like those things to be making sure that I'm doing, because for me there's a lot of times those types of things can get kind of fall through the cracks. And so it was kind of nice to kind of have that piece of paper being like, oh, make sure you do this. I'm like, oh crap. Or okay, I really need to go make sure I do that because I really want the bingo. So Sarah says, it got me thinking about some of the things I don't normally do and things that kind of fall through the cracks. Yep. Same. Awesome. Great, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming to our October meeting. I will get this recording up and onto our team call, or onto our YouTube channel. That way, if you have anybody on your team that might have missed it, they can watch the replay. But we really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.